What's up, everyone on YouTube? It's Ed Driver KG, and I'm here again. Another year, and you know what? We have to talk about what are the first 5 mods you should do. An updated video. Now that we got a little bit more support, let's talk about it. So really quick, you guys haven't seen a full 360 of the car. The wheels are dirty, the car's dirty. Excuse the car, but here it is. It is marble and rust. It's coming together. It came together. I gotta finish up this bottom trim right here. I'm gonna do that and something else. But here's the car. It's a little hit of the old wrap on the bottom, but I'm probably gonna take that off. But that's that's what's going on with the car right now. So as you can see, it's not textured. It's pretty smooth. It's very dirty at the moment. It doesn't look it, but matte on this side, very much so gloss on this side. So you can see how glossy it is. But I know as the time has went on, there's been a little bit of a change on what are the first 5 mods you should do. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first 5 mods you should do for your Elantra N, Kona N, and Veloster N. If you got a Veloster N, just think of it as you pretty much need a turbo upgrade. Now, if you don't want the turbo upgrade and you just want to do bolt-ons, it's not going to be the same exact horsepowers and all that stuff, but tune matters. Now, before we talk about tune, what tune do I recommend? Well, right now I am cherry tuned, and I'm gonna be honest with you, my whole thing with cherry tune has been really good. I've been now tuned by them for about a month and a half, maybe a little longer, maybe 2 months. It's been a while, and this car has been running really good. I no longer get any fuel cuts as I did with N75, and the whole power band is smoother, and it pulls a little harder than it did before. And that's my biggest worry. I was like, man, I wanted to pull as hard as it was when it was N75 tuned, and you know what? We were able to achieve that with better drivability, better gas mileage. I'm getting, on average, I'd say on the highway, I saw 35. Anywhere, if you're on the highway for a long time, you'll probably see about 40. If you're in the street, I'd say anywhere between 25 and 29. That's what I'm getting driving normally, like not even trying my best to get as best gas mileage as I could possibly get, but this car is doing really well. So when it comes to tunes, first tune I'm going to recommend cherry tuning. Another tuner, Lap 3, very good. I know I used to talk about them a lot, but I've learned, I've talked to a little bit more tuners now, and let me tell you something, Lap 3 is a great company, and they're doing it safely. No blown engines. Unfortunately, my friend that I told to go with N75, his engine blew up shortly after. He was water meth injected, and his timing was like way crazy. So just try and keep in mind you want cherry, Lap 3, and the next one, Upper Motorsports. Upper Motorsports is going to be one of those, like, they're coming up. You probably haven't heard of them. If you have, then you know Upper Motorsports is doing their thing, and they're close. So I'm going to be taking a trip myself to Upper Motorsports, and we may be trying out a tune from them. I know I'm going to put some of my other friends on to Upper Motorsports. They've been doing some good things with that company, and you want your pops, we're going to talk about it, so I'll let him explain. Shout out to Raul and Upper Motorsports. And again, those are the 3 companies that I'm going to recommend right now that are doing their thing. Those are my top 3 companies, not in any order, but those are my top companies. For item number 1 on this car, or any of those cars that I mentioned, you're going to want to get a downpipe. That makes the biggest difference with these cars. That's going to put you at anywhere between plus, if you're stock, plus 10 to plus 20. Now, once you get a tune, a downpipe is going to make the biggest difference. If you're not tuned, if you're tuned, it's going to make a huge difference, a noticeable difference. I like changes that when you hit the gas, it's like, whoa, that's different. And you know what? The sound that you get, the feeling you get when you first do a downpipe, oh my God, it feels amazing. And I still remember that feeling now that I've been through doing downpipes like 3 times at this point. Let me tell you something. The downpipe, #1 mod. You got, I have the main tech on this car, but Cherry has theirs, and it's a 2-piece for easy install. It's 3-inch all the way out. You got the X-Force. And guess what, guys? I am going to be showing you guys the new Whoosh one that's coming out. I'll leave a little picture of it right here, but that's going to be coming in another few weeks. And you know what? We're going to throw it on this car, and it is, I believe, 3 all the way out, or it could be 3.5 to 3. But the issue with this car is that I'm running a 3 to 2.5, which is the main tech. So the main tech at the time, that was the easiest, cheapest at the time, and that was the one that I knew of. And mind you, I should have won X-Force, but I wanted catless. So Downpipe is going to be amazing. So like I said, I'm not sure of the exact measurements. I'll leave it right here, but they're going to have a lot of options. Also, Ryan's Garage, he's going to have, I believe, something similar to that one, but we're going to talk about the one that we have. But we're not going to talk price just as of yet, but it will be very, 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 very affordable. More affordable than you think for a whole one that basically looks like a X-Force. So, #1 mod. And that's for anyone. This is for both categories, track and driver, racer, whatever you want to call yourself. We're going to decipher it and put it into 2 different parts. So if you're on the track, I'm going to do one. And if you're just a daily driver and having fun with your car, it's going to be another. #2 is never going to change. That's going to be the same for daily and track. And that is going to be the lower motor mount. Now, everything that I mentioned in this video is going to be available on Whoosh Motorsport. That's where I got a lot of my stuff from. So if you go down into the description, you'll be able to go right on to Whoosh and pick up some of these things I mentioned, maybe even more stuff, because they have a lot of stuff in there in the US. So you'll be able to get these things very, very fast. So again, I say the lower motor mount, that is one of the most important mods you need. So it goes on the bottom. I did an install video a few years ago. It's very, very easy. It takes like 10 minutes. If you want to lift up the car, you could struggle like I did, but you're going to need that with lower motor mount. They go from 200 and some change on up, or you can get the little inserts. And I actually have the inserts, but right now in the car is the Turbo Tech. But there's a few other options you can go with. You got White Line, you got 6, you got Boomba. There are a few if you want to go that route, or like I said, the inserts you could put right onto your motor mount, and all you need is a 17. Get it in there, switch out the little mounts in there. You're good to go. You're fine. Those motor mounts are going to save you from that terrible, terrible wheel judder, that wheel hop. When you go to take off, it feels terrible, especially if you have stock tires. Get rid of it. Get yourself a lower motor mount. Now, next, this is not for all of those track guys. This is going to be more for the casual racers. The next thing you want to do is a high pressure fuel pump. Now, I say this because sometimes when you get tuned, the car is going to have these little tiny cuts depending on the tune. Now, the tunes can be the cut can be tuned around, but if you're going to have a tune that's really like aggressive, you're going to have some cutting depending on that timing. From what I've seen from Cherry Tuning, he's been able to get around any cut. All he has to do is see the logs, and he can go around these cuts, and he's going to explain these cuts to you. I'm going to have him on here soon. He's been pretty busy, but I'm going to have him on here explaining how he gets around the fuel cut, because the fuel cut is pretty bad. Now, I know some tuners out there, they're like, hey, it's just too much power. Like I said, I went through these cuts for a long time thinking it was me or the car. It wasn't. So, Cherry Tuning, I'm pretty sure Upper Motorsports can do the same. You don't hear about cuts with Lap 3. You guys know the stuff. So, next thing I'm going to say is the high pressure fuel pump, and that's only because 6 just came out. And guess what? I just got my email that it is on the way to me, and this is supposed to be a very high flow. This is better than the Sonata pump. So if you got this car, go on over to 6, check out that high flow high pressure fuel pump. It is about $550, and you know what, I'll leave a link in the description. But if you don't want to get that, or if it's not in stock, because I know stock is going to be, you know, it's going to be pretty harsh, I'll leave Whoosh's on there, and they have the Sonata high pressure fuel pump for a really good price. It's not going to be $400 or $500 like it is on some other sites. You can get it from Whoosh in there in the US. If you're not in the US, you could probably get it from Cherry Tuning. Who knows? But another goodbye. Another thing I might add for number 3, for the racers, for those track goers, you can do this too if you're daily, is an intercooler. It's very important, especially when you're on the throttle a lot, that you stay consistent with making that power. Now, there's a few options out there. There's a new Forge one. You have Whooshes, you have Sixes. I think Whoosh and a few other companies are using that same one that, I mean, if you look enough, you can find it. It's just a rebranded round one, but that's the one that I have. I have the Whoosh one, and you stay consistent. So for those track goers, again, consistent power is key. You want to keep some of those temps down as best as you can, and you're not able to use meth. So intercooler is going to be the best way, and you might pick up about 5 to 10 horsepower. Who knows? Now you may ask, why would you listen to me? Well, if you haven't seen Elantra Inverse the World, this car is moving pretty good. And I've been doing this for a good while, and I understand a little bit more of what it takes to have these cars go quick, go pretty fast, and enjoy. So again, this car right here, I'm pretty sure is making in between 450 to 470 wheel horsepower. I'm not sure. We're going to have to go back to the dyno. All right, next, we're going to go. This is number 4 for those casual guys. If you want a little bit more sound, that's like you want to hear it as you go, like, then you're going to want to go ahead and get either one. You got Whoosh's whole system. That whole system is a great price. You get the intake and the inlet for one price. You can't beat that. I personally had the 6 one, which is the 6 Lite with a Forge on top of it. What does that look like? Let me show you. All right, so this is the little intake concoction that I have. This is the 6 Lite tube. That back there is the 6 inlet tube. This is a Forge cone filter, or the big foam filter. This thing is huge. Like, look at my hand. I have pretty big hands, and the fact that this thing is bigger than my hand is insane. So this right here normally is about $100. And how did I get this to basically mount up to this? I used a 4 to 3 inch coupler right here. So normally this is 3, because this is supposed to go, this part right here is supposed to go to a stock box, but I was tired of the stock box. I needed more sound. So if you get the Forge one, it comes with the big cone filter, not this filter, but a different cone filter. And it is a nice 4 inches titanium. It goes all the way back there. And it's basically about a 2-piece whole setup, 2 or 3 piece. So basically you got their filter, their whole thing here. And then you got the inlet, and it comes all together. Just buy that. Just buy that. I do recommend Forge. Forge is great. I've had Forge. Again, great investment. That is another thing that you could feel. Once you put that inlet on, you're going to feel the difference of your throttle responsiveness. As soon as you hit it, it's going to be more snappy, more woo. You know what I mean? You'll understand what I mean when you get it done. But if you just do the intake, you're not going to feel anything. You are going to get the noise. So noise, power, noise. All right. And we are back to number 5. Now, this is for both. I know I left off on, 3 for actual track goers. So this is going to be for both. ECU tune. And I know I was talking about it before, but you say, hey, is this going to void my warranty? It can. The best way to go about that is try not to blow up. And how do you blow up these cars? A bad tune. So the tune is going to be very, very important. Now, if you're lucky enough, you can find a nice dealership where you got in good with people, but if not, then you have to take care of yourself. So when it comes to these cars, this ECU right there, you're going to have to get your code, and the best thing I could recommend is a swap. Just a simple swap on the ECU. Just Boop. The new one, take out the old one. Simple, right? And that's the spare ECU. Then you can go at EK1. You got the EK1 Pro, EK1 Lite. On the Mini 2, that looks good. I have the Lite. And you know what? I've been using that Lite for the last 2 years. So, when it comes to tune, one of the three that I told you about, pretty damn good. Like I said, again, I have to reiterate. Number one, in no order, but number one, Cherry tuning. Cherry tuning got me this crazy cam loping. And it doesn't hurt the motor. It doesn't. But is it good for it? No. Does it hurt it? No. Keep in mind, if you have a 2025 and you want an EK1, you're going to do things a little bit differently. It's something called a bench bench kit, right? That you're going to put here, then you're going to put the other one here, or I think it's there. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to find somebody that has that. But the bench kit allows you to tune your ECU, not a spare, but your own ECU via EK1 device in your car. So the way you're going to use that kit, like I said, it's going to come with the instructions, but if you have a 2024, 2025, or let's see what's going on for 2026, you're going to get that bench kit and you can tune it that way through EK1. Or you could just hit this and take this off and get your spare from Cherry or Lap 3. If you go over to Upper Motorsports, you don't gotta touch nothing. You can just drive up, and guess what? They got a dyno. They got a dyno. So you can understand what your car is making and go on and be happy. So if you're in the New Jersey, New York, PA, DMV area, any of those areas, Upper Motorsports is very close. And they have a dyno. And he knows these cars. Not a bad idea, right? I'd rather be dyno tuned. And also, if you're not in those areas and you want something dialed in also, like I said, you have Lap 3 and you got Cherry. Again, I personally have Cherry and I'm loving it. It is the best decision I made tuning-wise for this car. Best decision I ever made. This car is properly scary, fast. It's actually fast. I know I say quick a lot of times. 500 wheel horsepower to me is fast, right? Or over 500. Cars that are over 500 is considered fast, right? This car has a clutch mod. What the hell is that, you ask? So with the ECU tuning, he is able to make it so that the car doesn't stall and it starts to roll on its own with just you lifting your foot off of the clutch. No gas needed. And if you know this car, you know when you start to ease your foot off that clutch, you gotta literally stay on it so long just to get it to roll just a little bit. And guess what? It might stall. I've seen it happen. But he has a mod to make this car not stall. There's so many little things he's done with this car that is insane. Again, clutch mod. Then a drivability mod where I'm putting little to no throttle and it's able to go. I'm able to keep excellent gas mileage. Because when you get tuned, sometimes depending on the tune, sometimes your accelerator pedal is going to be a little weird, right? It's gonna start to like take off, but then the mid-range, even when you got like 30% throttle, it's just gonna like kind of fall on its face. It's gonna be like kind of tired. Maybe I was going through that when I had my O2, but man, the drivability mod is crazy. I love it. So we're gonna go on to the track goers. So for those track guys, sorry you had to wait a little bit, but I had to get to the majority because not everybody's going to track these cars. I'm going to track the car, all right? I'm going to go. I actually am working on a tune with him to have this car a lot lower wheel horsepower, probably going to drop it down about 100 wheel horsepower just to keep it in the fun. And I'm going to go out to a couple tracks and we're going to record everything for you guys. But if you are taking your car to the track, we already got number one, which was Downpipe. number 2, which was the lower motor mount, and number 3, right? That was, but let's just leave that up for the debate, that number 3. So let's go on to the next one, number 4. If you're going to the track, please get you a set of 18-inch wheels and some good tires. Now, good track tires, you have a good variety. I ran actually some track tires, and it's all about that UTG or whatever it's called, but get you a good set of tires. That is everything. The stock Michelin Palace Sport 4S's are okay. Not the best, but you could get a 265, 255 on this car. You want to see how a 265 looks? 35 offset. So if you walk up to my car, this is a 265. You see that? It has like the smallest little poke. Smallest poke, right? Now, believe it or not, the camera is picking up this poke a little bit more than I am in person. But it doesn't poke that much. And you know what? I can fully turn. I can lock both directions. And I've never rubbed. Look at this. Look at this tire all around. You would be able to see a rub. You just see slight wrinkling. And that's some hard driving. But there is no rub whatsoever under here. All the wrap is together. All right, just some dirt. I mean, look at these wheels. These are terrible, but these are 265, 35, 18. This wheel, 18 by 8.5 plus 35 offset. So, honestly, you can run that. You can run that. And you know what? You got a good amount of grip on there. That's a 265. But if you're going to the track, I personally think you should downsize so you can have a little bit more or a little bit less rotational mass. Good idea. I think that's number 4 right there. And this one's going to be like a 4.5. It depends on if you're manual or auto. If you're manual, you're going to want a short shifter. Now, I don't have the physical short shifter that goes in there. I'm actually going to get one. But let's see if we can go in here and you can see a trans adapter. It might be under the battery. Yep, you are not going to see it much, but it's under there. It's under there, but it's a trans adapter. And I'll leave a link for that. I got it from Boomba. That trans adapter is going to make it so that your shifts go from boom, 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 like that, because that second gear is like long, like it's a long throw. Look how short mine's are. All right, excuse the car keys and the camera wires over here, but you can see this is short. See, this is neutral. That's first. That's second. Third, fourth. Third, fourth. Like it's much shorter than what I'm used to when I was just stock without the adapter. But this, they say, is 33% shorter, and I feel it, and I can tell when I'm driving. Now, if you're DCT, you don't have to worry about all that. You kind of got it good, and you can just worry and let the car do the car, whatever the car wants to do and what it's supposed to do. So, in that case, let's go on to number 5. This is going to be for track-driven people, and believe it or not, you might not agree with me, but I feel like this makes a difference. But do you notice anything here that might slip? Anything when you're trying to turn fast? Oh, this is what I'm talking about, guys. You want maximum grip, right? Maximum grip on this steering wheel could be attained by a steering wheel cover, or you get one of those ones that you have to thread. Now, I threaded the old car, And it was pretty easy. It was my first time ever doing it. And guess what? I got it. I was able to do the whole thing in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It did not take, it is not going to take as long as you think to thread up every single thread around. It's not that bad. Trust me, it is not bad. I was dreading it. I was looking up YouTube videos. I think it's a great addition, and I have more gripping power. Now, it's a few places you can go to get your extra gripping or grippy steering wheel covers, or you can just go ahead and get an actual steering wheel. That's going to cost about $1,000. I think that's going to make a big difference on grabbing that steering wheel and having just a little bit more control, because you don't want it to just slip away from you sometimes. I feel sometimes, especially when I'm turning, I want as much grip as I can possibly have, especially knowing how these cars can get. If you turn hard enough, it will fishtail. It will become a Mustang on you. So are you ready to deal with your Elantra GT Mustang 5.0? Because you're going to have to be. But thank you guys for watching. That's all I have for you today. Again, if you got any questions, I'm going to have Tristan up, and we may do a live stream. It might just be a video, but I need you guys to have your questions ready down in the comments, and we can ask him those questions and answer some of those for you. But thank you for watching, and hopefully you know exactly what direction to go in, depending on what type of driver you are and the reason you bought this car. And have fun out there. Be safe. Catch you on the next one.